I took a stroll downtown this evening when I heard music echo through the night. The same old songs that I heard the night before. So I started running so I wouldn't be too late. I didn't think that I would ever see your face again, but I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. When I got close, my heart was pumping to the beat that was blasting through the night. And on the street, the crowd was jumping, singing songs and dancing through the night. I didn't think that I would ever see your face again, but I was wrong. I can't believe we're dancing in the street. All I ever wanted was to get close to you. Now I'm burning in your atmosphere. I can't feel my feet. While we're dancing in the street, in the neon light, with the music on my feet all through the night. And when the music started to fade out, the first rays of sunlight lit up your eyes. Oh, how I wish this night would never end, so we can keep on dancing. I didn't think that I would ever see your face again, but I was wrong. I can't believe we're dancing in the street. All I ever wanted was to get close to you. Now I'm burning in your atmosphere. I can't feel my feet while we're dancing in the street.
Well, it's time to go live. Whoa! I look like Veruca Salt. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out today. Ed Pluck, thank you for the tip. Dinkum's here. Thanks, Jason. So what do we think of cryptids? Kind of a believer now. Yes. Veruca Beauregard. It's blue on my screen. I'm assuming it's blue on yours. Thanks, Clark. That's very kind. All right, I think I've got some super chats to handle. What do we got? Jason, thank you. Fantastic Forager, thank you for the super sticker. Ed Pluck, Hecklefish Mad Powers of Suggestion. I want Hecklefish boxers. I think it's a great idea. We're going to see if we can make those. Right now, all the merch is handled through Printify, so we don't have a lot of control over what happens. We kind of have to do the products that they put up there for us. But we're using Shopify for the front end, which will allow us to make our own products to ship, which we're working on. That will be the Hecklefish plushie and I think we have to do the boxers. And after, I think we have to do the edible underwear too. Someone mentioned that. I don't know. I don't know, Alf. There's Jacob. Congratulations on being promoted to a mod, my friend. Jacob, leave a link to your podcast. Everyone would like it. David, thank you for that generous tip. Smells like Hecklefish, tastes like conspiracy. Hecklefish plushie, that's coming. We're working on that. All right, let me see if I could fix the color. No, it's going to be blue. It's going to be blue. Hey, buddy, you there? There he is. Hecklefish, you wanna get on here with me, pal? Yeah. All right. Keith, thank you for that. Great video. I actually live right between Reed City and Sparta in the woods of White Cloud. Cannot wait to do some searching. You're going to go looking for it? Make sure you take pictures. And make sure that there's focus. All the cryptids are blurry. Anyway, thank you for that generous tip. I can't hear you, man. Blackbeard, hello again, my YouTube friend. Hello. Hello, Blackbeard. Willie02001, thank you so much for the show. My son Elliot stayed home this morning to watch. He says hi. Stayed home from school? Did he skip school to watch the show? I don't know. You might be a cool dad. Julian, great content. Thank you for that. Anthony Rosado, love your work. Thank you for the tip. And thank you for tipping in the premiere. It was very generous of you guys. Yeah, I don't hear him either. Let me see if I can fix him. Still blue. Let me see if he's working. Hello, you there? I see his lips moving, but I can't hear him. I'm right here, Tracy. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. Luke, cheers, brother. I listen to you and Hecklefish every day while working at my desk. Lizard people are coming. He believes it. I don't know. You know, live streaming it's tricky. I wasn't blue before I went live. Thanks, Tally. I don't know if they're looking for blue hosts, but that's nice of you to say. I don't know. That's a good one. Kajis, thank you for the $5 super sticker. You are making it rain today, my friend, and I appreciate that. Missing 4-1 on aliens connections, please. the missing 411s, it's hard for a couple of reasons. One is David Polides does such a good job with missing 411, and what else can I do that's new? And then there's Mr. Ballin does the same ones. So I kind of avoid them, but I'll do them if you guys want to see them. And the second reason with the missing 411s, I avoid them because a lot of times it's the M word. I don't know if I could say murder on the live stream and get thrown off, but there's a lot of murder and other bad things that happen to the people, and I don't want to get the channel demonetized because it's in a fragile state. But we are working on a channel called the What Files, and the What Files is going to be mostly true crime and missing 411, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a little darker. That's going to be the What Files. Stay tuned for that. Axiom Infinity, where did you meet Hecklefish? I guess I never really talked about that. He is the product of a genetic experiment gone wrong. And rather than kill him after the experiment, I decided to take him home. Why waste a perfectly good goldfish? That yours be classic. Thanks, JP. I appreciate that. Super chats. Have I missed anybody? Leland, thank you for that super sticker. Xanathos, love the channel. Hecklefish is the best. Isn't a talking goldfish considered a cryptid? I think so. Rusty knife surgeon. See, yeah, that scares me. Even the last two stories, the Miami one was really disturbing. That and I only covered it very briefly because I'm afraid that the channel is going to get whacked. But he was eating that guy's face for 18 minutes, and people were walking by the scene. And he stripped down naked, and he stripped the homeless guy naked for some reason. I don't know. Faces are more delicious when you're naked, I guess. I don't know. But people just kept walking by and just looking over, seeing, I guess they thought it was a romantic situation, that they were making out, in a pool of blood. I don't know. It was a gross story. And video cameras it was actually from a news station, captured the whole thing on video, which I linked underneath the show. So I know people are going to click on that because you got to see. You don't really see too much. You see a lot of legs squirming. But because what's happening, it's pretty upsetting to watch. There's Lilykins. Ian Chase, thanks for the content, AJ. Love the stories and have learned many things. You're very welcome. I learned a lot of stuff too as I'm researching. Get you taking the Collins Elite. I don't know that one. I don't know the Collins Elite. I have to look into that. Let's see. Oh, UFOs, demons. Okay, I'm into it. What Files? More time dedicated to the offices. Thank you for saying that, nerd, but I'm actually not going to host that show. That's going to be hosted by Jen, but I'm sure that Hecklefish and I will pop in there. I'm looking at the camera. I look fine on I don't look blue. Blue on this. Let me see. What if I take that off, take that off, take that off? Nope. We're just going to be blue today. I'm going to take care of that as soon as we're done here. M. Connor should name it What the Files. I agree. D-Tub, just found your channel recently. Love your videos. Hey, thanks, T-Dub. Moon Doggy X, have you heard the theory that cryptids are naturally occurring transdimensional creatures? I have heard that. The it's every cryptid seems to be connected to that. There's people who believe that dogmen in Michigan are transdimensional creatures, that there's some type of portal in the woods up there. But the portal it's in Michigan, it's in Wisconsin, it's in West Virginia. Maybe there's a lot of portals. But yeah, people think it's something to do with transdimensional. AJ's American Dad. I don't know what that means, but I think it's funny. Daniel Urbina, CRC 5,000. I don't know what CRCs are. Costa Rica coins, 5,000 of those from Costa Rica. Love the channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for the tip. Your support means a lot. Really does. JT, really enjoy the content. Look forward to this every Thursday. Wish I can give you all more. Y'all definitely deserve it. $5 is very generous, JT. Appreciate that. Don't have any stress about it. Especially in this economy. And if you think this year was bad, buckle up. Thanks for the great content, AJ. Here's a couple of bucks for fish flake food. Thanks. I appreciate that. He prefers White Castle cheeseburgers. And I remember with White Castle cheeseburgers, if you order cheeseburgers from White Castle, you don't get pickles. So you have to specifically ask for the pickles. Okay? So, you learned something else today. Ian Chase, it's Ian, right? It's not Ian. That would be pretentious. Thanks for the content, AJ. Love the stories and I've learned many things. I think I read you already. Well, you got a double. Jen Sugar Bear BL. Anyone mention a smell coming from the Dogmen? Yes. The Linda Godfrey has a ton of books. She was a local reporter, right? And not a believer in cryptids. And when she's on all the documentaries, and if you look at documentaries on the Michigan Dogmen and the Beast of Bray Road, you'll see Linda Godfrey all over the place. And they talk about her as being, a local reporter, journalist on the beat. She was a cartoonist at the local paper. Linda, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but we got to be real. You're a cartoonist and a good one. And then went from being a cartoonist, non-believer in cryptids to books all over the place. Let me see. I see if I can show you. Amazon, Linda Godfrey. So in her books, she interviews all kinds of people. I mean, tons of people about the Michigan Dogmen. And a few of them report smelling something that smelled like dog, which may surprise you. But yeah, they did smell something. So thanks for that question, Jen Sugar Bear. Let's go, Brandon. Do a collaboration with David Polides. I guess I would. I really think we serve different audiences, which is a compliment to you guys. But I'd do it. I'd collaborate with anybody if there was a way to do it. I don't know how it fits into this format. A couple of channels have reached out about doing a collaboration, and I'd say sure, but you guys have to figure out how to do it. I don't know how it fits into what we do here, unless maybe do a live stream together, which would be fine. It'd be easier than sitting here doing this myself. This is not easy. I mean, look, I can't even get the color on my face right. I can't move without hitting the microphone. I can't get Hecklefish to talk. You're on mute, buddy. You're on mute. Augusto Memo Chat, check out Thinker Thunker for Bigfoot evidence. Thinker Thunker, is that a YouTube channel? Oh. Thinker Thunker on YouTube. All right. Let's see what you got. Oh, that's nice. What is that? Did you see that? Are you watching this? Is that earwax? What is? Does the Y-Files get these crazy commercials too? Did you see that she dug in her ear and made a candle out of it? How long is this? This is 4 minutes. I want to see what they do with the earwax. The earwax is causing memory loss. All right. Gross. Sonic proof of Bigfoot. Well, next time I'll have sound working. Thanks for the tip. Jay Smith, Puck, Wudgie, and Orange Pandak. I don't know. Oh, yeah, little furry people in the woods, New England and in Indonesia. That's right. Seems like every country has them. Scolurio. This is the problem. I'm reading the super chats. I'm not reading them in advance, like in my brain, which I should do. I'm just saying them, and that's going to get me into trouble. So, because I'm trying to just go. But instead, I should read these carefully because some of you guys are going to get me in trouble. I'm like Ron Burgundy over here. Thank you for this lovely channel. Some people believe that Cthulhu myth of H.P. Lovecraft may be based on real ancient cult. I would believe that. Galactic Federation Ambassador Catherine Sabers. I'm not kidding. That's her name. I'm going to say it again. Galactic Federation Ambassador Catherine Sabers. You enjoy lowering your chair. I see it in your eyes every time. Good vibes. I do enjoy that. It's because someone said once, and it made me laugh. Said something like when he turns on the Y-Files, when the chair goes down, the shit goes down. I thought that was funny. Dirty Miner Apparel, CPI just dropped. It's 8.2, so I'm chipping in because I love your channel. I appreciate the support, but CPI went up. CPI went up faster than expected this morning. Bad numbers, news for the economy. Thanks, T-Dub. Did I get you ready? All right, let me scroll. Let me scroll. Why? Why? What does it matter? What does it matter what people do? Kat Dean, there are bones of another very strange creature found in Arizona, supposedly that of something called a gomphothere. I don't know what that is. I've seen the jackalopes out there, but I've never heard that. But I'm going to look into that. Pet hecklefish for me. He's scaly. He's scaly. He does like a belly rub though. Yep. Brian Bonnet, please tell me how to send you the $50 I have for you. You don't have to send that. You can hold on to that. You could spend that on groceries or gas. You know, if things are tight. If you want to support the channel, there's a million ways. Should I do the plugs? I'll do the plugs. You can support on Patreon. So you can become a Patreon member. It's fun. It's not expensive. You could join for as low as $3 a month, all the way up to $50 a month to be a black belt. And when you're a Patreon member, you get access to special access on the Discord and other stuff that we haven't gotten to yet, but we're working on it. Victoria, I promise we're going to get to it. You can also buy stuff from the store. So that's store.theyfiles.com. Let me see if I can put a link. I'll link that for you. The link to the store. You can support that way. Let's see. The super chats are great, but creators only keep a portion of that. I don't know what it is. I think it's like 60%, 70%. I don't know. YouTube takes a chunk. But you can support all those ways. Or you could just PayPal me. What did I miss? Joshua Shepard, you think there's an episode worth of content about scientists or men who've learned too much in the Lovecraftian sense of forbidden knowledge. I kind of know, I know what you're going with there, and I like it. It just sounds more narrative. It sounds like, we should maybe write that as in a screenplay. We'll shoot that. AJ, is a CIA operative task for soft disclosures confirmed? I've heard that before. No comment. A lot of people are boycotting Patreon. I get it. I understand. They just make it easy, but people want to boycott because they're a very political company. I get it. Ian B, Agent, is watching those ads help the channel? That's a great question, because people will tell me, hey, I love your channel so much, I sit through all the ads. You don't have to do that. First of all, I don't know how many people are on this chat right now. All right, 1,800. So you guys are super fans. I mean, if you're sitting here watching this, I mean, I don't know why anyone would watch this, but if you're sitting here watching this, you're a super fan. Don't just skip the ads. Just hit skip. But the creators get credit for the ads if I think if you watch, like, I don't know, a few seconds of it. If you watch past the skip ad button, the creator will get credit for it, and then depending on how long someone sits for the ad. And but I don't do that. I skip ads. Just the fact that you're in this chat, it means you're supporting the channel. So, and if you've ever donated, definitely don't sit through an ad. I think I got to you. Planetary Protector, maybe look into the dinosaur hoax. Very interesting topic. You have to be more specific. Be more specific. Tell me what you mean there. Because there's a few. I mean, because what I see in the comments a lot is that the dinosaur hoax is that the Earth is only like a few thousand years old, and that cavemen and dinosaurs lived on it together. If you think that's the hoax, do you think that's the hoax? Leland for $10. Glad I found you in Hecklefish. Amazing combination of intellect and comedy. Except today. Not today. I wouldn't worry about cross content, whether creator or rather watch your show and be easy and be well. Should I read these loud? I'm kind of reading them, I'm mumbling them to myself because I'm assuming that you're reading them on screen. Should I just read them for people that aren't staring at this like a crazy person? I'll read them. Schizo Smurf. Love the content, bro. Thank you, bro. You are great. One of the most underrated on YouTube, in my opinion. I appreciate that. David Allen Gay, I try to share Wi-Fi's links on Twitter. I appreciate that. That's really helpful. Igor, YouTube takes 30%. I'd recommend you make Streamlabs. They take just a tiny bit compared to YouTube at the Wi-Fi's. I'm using Streamlabs right now. They've made my face blue. And they've turned off Hecklefish's mic. So, but we're going to work on that. Fock21. That's YouTube. That was FO. That was FO. AJ, last live, you said the world will get worse for the next 2 years. What did you mean? I mean the economy. The economy is the world. Your politics can be whatever it is, whatever issues you're voting on. Those are going to go back and forth, left or right. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But the economy affects all of us, no matter what we believe. And despite what some people will say, it's bad right now. Despite what some people will say, we are in a recession. And it's going to get deeper. And I think it's going to get deeper all the way through the next year, 2023. And I don't think 2024 will be that great either. But I think 2025 gets better. Now, I don't know how... I'm assuming that you're 41 years old. Or were 41 when you made this account. So you're old enough to have lived through this. We've been through this. 2008 was kind of like a 3-year deal. The late 70s, for those who remember, that was, when you look back on Reagan, he's lauded as the guy who like bailed us out of the recession and all of that with Carter, but even Reagan's administration was pretty rough for a couple of years. It wasn't until like 83 that the economy turned around. So that was like a 4-year, 5-year recession / depression with an energy crisis. Remember, in 2008, we didn't have an energy crisis. We have that now. And gas is going to go up. Gas is going to go up in 2023, and that's just going to make things worse. I hope that answers your question. I wish I had better news. Darth Cynical, the North American legend of the Thunderbird is very interesting. Lots of great stories. I agree. And the Thunderbird is basically a pterodactyl, for you guys that don't know. It's like a pterodactyl who flies around. And there is a great picture of the Thunderbird from the Civil War. Let me see if I could find it. Let's see if I could find that. Found it. This one. That's the Thunderbird. Now that's a cryptid picture. There's another one. I know. I can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you, pal. Yeah, love the Thunderbird. Those pictures are hoaxes, by the way. Those are fake. Night owl, human hybrids are real. You sound like half man, half owl. AJ Skater's waiting for a shout out. There you go, buddy. I'm waiting for my super sticker. You know what I'm saying? One hand washes the other. Doug, for $25 Canadian, I don't know what that's worth, but like I said, it's going to be worth less. Enjoy your ability to tell a great story. Thank you. Concepts and ideas I never thought of. Should dual stream on Rumble. Hi, Hecklefish. We'll look into that. The only reason I'm not is I'm using. What am I using? I'm using Streamlabs, which is making me blue, and I'm using StreamYard to simulcast out to the platforms. I think this is also going out to Facebook. Maybe not. And they don't have Rumble on there. But if I upgrade to multicast, I should be able to get to Rumble as well. I kind of hate that I have to put stuff on Rumble, but a channel like this is vulnerable. XX Tacy, for 1776. You mentioned buried cities in the last live stream. Watch the first 4 YouTube videos on the tinfoil helmet playlist from Armored Skeptic when you have time. Great fake history rabbit hole. Tinfoil helmet sounds like my kind of channel. I'm going to leave a note. All right, we're 33 minutes into this, and first of all, thank you for being here. Again, I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you're here, and I'll keep hanging out with you. But every time I look up at the number of viewers, it's going up, which is fun. But as I'm sitting here doing this, my brain is going, the viewers have got to be dropping like flies. Because, I don't feel like this is entertaining. But, I'll answer your questions. I'll hang out. Matt, AJ, love the channel. You're the closest thing to classic Art Bell around today. I appreciate the work. That's a huge compliment. So the channel, the Y-Files channel is kind of inspired by a couple of different things. It's a combination of a few shows. Obviously, Art Bell for the content. But it's Pee-wee's Playhouse and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's kind of what the show is based around. And if you know those shows or remember them, you could kind of see the inspiration that I took from there. Art Bell for the content for sure. But also when I started the channel at the very beginning, we just turned 2, by the way. So happy 2 years day. I wanted to do more science and kind of straight science with a comedy twist and do the weird stories just once in a while. But the channel was growing so slowly, and the only videos that were getting views were the weird ones, which is fine. I mean, those are great. I love the stories. But, I was hoping to mix in some black holes and, dark matter and, do science experiments. Maybe we still can, but you know, the Mel's Hole video went bananas. I like 1.5 million views. Everybody wants to know what's in Mel's Hole. But my favorite video is the simulation theory video. It just didn't do that well. It's like more people want to see the weird stuff. But thank you for the comparison to Art Bell. He's the greatest of all time. Tyler Bittinger, AJ, could you address Ezekiel's wheel story from the Bible? Not right now. I'd like to do more Bible stories, but man, I got weird comments when I did. I forget what the last one was. Oh, it was the Chronovisor. Chronovisor, YouTube. Chronovisor. If you say that fast, they'll turn the video off. People in the comments got weird about Vatican. I don't know. People in the YouTube comments could be awful. Like, I don't know. I was born Catholic, but we weren't really Catholic. We didn't go to church or anything. The only reason I knew we were Catholic is because my grandmother would, say things about the Pope in Italian sometimes. What are you talking about? So, well, we're Catholic. We are? We're Catholic? Well, yeah. We're Italian. It's required. But I, I'm not a religious person, and the religious mysteries are some of my favorite stories to do. Even Old Testament. I'm not Jewish, but I love those stories. And Hindu religion has amazing stories. They all do. But I wouldn't get angry at someone posting a video about a different religion, but people got angry about posting about the Vatican because of like priests and boys. And because that happened, we can't do a video about a time machine. But that's the YouTube comments. They're not stupid. These people aren't stupid. They're just mean and miserable. Look, if you're leaving the mean comment on YouTube, I know you're miserable, and I'm sorry for your pain. Sketchy Guy Nevada, hey, is this the show you talk about your ranch time? Just curious. Oh, that's right. So Sketchy Guy Nevada he's in Sparks, which is northern Nevada, just outside of Reno. And I know this because for about a year I worked at the Mustang Ranch. This. It's not a steakhouse, by the way. The Mustang Ranch is a brothel. Actually, I probably can't show it. That was close. So yeah, for about a year I worked at the Mustang Ranch brothel. And no, I wasn't a boy toy. I didn't perform any activities for money. I did them for free. No, I'm kidding. I was there for radio. I was working for Playboy Radio as a host and a producer. And every, I don't know, couple of weeks, I would fly from LA up to Reno and then over to Sparks and do a radio show from the Mustang Ranch brothel, from right in the bar. I mean, literally, we set up our gear on the stage where the stripper pole was, and I was producer and host, background host. The main host was one of the ladies of the brothel. That was Jennifer. I could probably show her picture, but I would get in trouble. So that's why I was up at the brothel working for Playboy Radio. And when I would go there, I would stay in the rooms. Like when I first got there, first time ever, and I flew up with Scott, who was like the PR person for the brothel. So we land in Reno. First time. It was my first time in a brothel, and Scott, being a gay man, was his first time at a brothel as well. And a limo picks us up at the airport and drives us out to Sparks, Nevada, which I never heard of. It was I don't know. It was pretty far out there. Like, I don't know what the town of Sparks is even like. I just thought it was I just thought it was a word on the map. I didn't know there was a town there. Um, but we get to the brothel, and on the property there's actually two brothels. There's the Mustang Ranch is on one side, and the Wild Horse is on the other side of the parking lot. And we get in there, and we don't really know where we're going to stay. We were, when we were first working with the folks at the ranch, and we worked with the owner, Lance, who, if you're in Sparks, he's like a councilman there now, and Jennifer, and and the ladies that ran the brothel. That's who we worked for. So Scott and I thought we were going to go to like the Marriott, but they were like, no, you'll stay here on the property. And on the property, we thought like, oh, you have like places for us to stay on the property. That's weird, but we'll do it. And they're like, no, you'll stay in the brothel. Like, what? So, so Scott, I forgot which room Scott got, but I got the dungeon room when I was at the brothel. So it was big. It's like a suite. So I walk in there, and there's a living room there in the dungeon room, it's nice. I mean, there's a lot of pink and that sort of thing, but it was pretty nice. It was clean, I guess. I didn't bring a black light, but it was clean. And then there was the bedroom, which was nice and huge. It had a hot tub and all that stuff. It was pretty nice. But then the last room at the end of the hall was the dungeon room, and that was like a legitimate red room, dungeon room. It had the cross with the strap, with the wrist and ankle straps, and it had shelves of toys. Some of them were violent, and it had vibrating feet for some reason. People are into vibrating feet. I don't know. And in the gift shop, by the way, in the brothel has a gift shop. Tourists go through there. I was sitting in the gift shop because that was like the best place to get Wi-Fi on the property. It was sketchy. So I would sit in the gift shop, and you'd see like a line of old ladies walking by. Like, Jennifer, what are they doing? Are they here to party? She's like, no, the buses come in from Reno, from the casinos and the hotels, and people just want to take a tour of the brothel because it's it's world famous. So you'd see like normal people in the gift shop, and the gift shop had the weirdest stuff. And it had the things you'd expect.
Put your face back on.
Oh, my face is off. My face is off.
Oh, we see his Mustang right.
Music started to fade out.
All right, you have me back? All right, so where was I? In the gift shop. Had I got to turn the ranch off. It's because it's showing videos now that are distracting. Gift shop had normal stuff that you'd see, like toys, that people would use, but it had a whole row of vibrating feet of different shapes and sizes and colors, and I had no idea there was such a fetish for it. But they said that they couldn't keep them in stock. When we first started going there, I would get a gift basket, and there would be a gift basket in my room, and it would have, snacks, champagne, and these coins, like chips. They look like casino chips, but they called them coins on the property. And each coin was good for a free activity with one of the ladies. And they would put a few of these in the bag and different activities. But I'm with the Mrs. Wattfiles. I'm with Jenny, so I can't partake of these activities. And I'm a germaphobe, so all that stuff went to waste. And it was funny because after being there for a while, and they got to know me, like my personality, the gift basket then changed. So I didn't have champagne and blowjob tokens anymore. The gift basket had granola bars, because I always ate those, clean sheets, hand sanitizer, and I think little boxes of Raisin Bran, because that's what I ate. Because they got to know me. So sketchy guy. That's when I was in Sparks. Is I worked at the brothel for about a year. All right, some super chats to catch up with. JL. Hey, AJ, I love you and Hecklefish. Could you do an episode about the theory that the structures found on the moon were not alien, but actually ancient human structures from a previous civilization? It's, I love the theory, but how do I do an episode on that? Because there's no information that's legitimately real that could support that. Now, that doesn't mean it's not a great episode, because I agree it is. And I love the moon stuff, as you could tell, because there's a new moon video every like six weeks. But with every story I do, I try to keep it grounded somehow in facts or evidence. That's why I avoided the cryptids story, because all the photos are fake. But I found some legitimate stuff, like the eyewitnesses. So with the moon, we have nothing. Well, all we have are a couple of whistleblowers, but that said they saw pictures of stuff on the moon, but we don't know what they are. So I love the idea. Now, if you know of like a whistleblower or photos or any type of evidence, then email me. I'd love to do it. Blue Bonnet Custom Graphics for $20. Thank you. That's very generous. We love your channel! ! I own a print shop with a friend of mine in Central Texas. Hey, shout out from North Texas here. We can totally make you some Hecklefish boxers. Blue Bonnet Custom Graphics. Thank you for making awesome videos. Best channel on YouTube. That'd be great. Email me, aj@thewifiles.com. Now, is this real? Mystery Game Studio just donated $250. That might be a record. That's amazing. Mystery Game Studio. I'll make sure I'll pronounce it, so in case this is a plug. I greatly enjoy your content, and your format is wonderful. If you're interested in talking about working together on a future title my studio is working on, please contact me. Sure. But you contact me. Email me what you mean. Because Mystery Game Studio means, do you make board games? Do you make video games? Do you remember the DVD games? Well, what was it? Was it Night Trap? Do you remember that one? Where it was kind of like, it was like a cheesy mystery. I would call it up. I would call the videos up for you guys to see, but my wife tells me that when I do that, you can't see my face. Let me see what happens. I don't know. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing my face. It's called Night Trap. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, it's super cheesy. There's a DVD game, and you'd play along with the mystery, and as you'd make different decisions, you would use the remote to go to different chapters on the DVD. I don't know. I had this game because, first of all, it was as a young nerd, it was groundbreaking. A, and B, as a young nerd, it had girls in little outfits like this. So of course I had it. But then it was almost instantly pulled from the market for being obscene. By the way, this is about the most obscene thing you'll see. This kind of stuff, that's as dirty as they get. But that was pulled for being obscene by Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife. Catching up on some super stickers. JC Kingsley, have you guys done a story on the Grand Canyon Egyptian artifacts thing where the Smithsonian supposedly disappeared it all? Not yet, but I'm going to do that one shortly. That's Kincaid's pyramid. So I'll do that one shortly. My brain almost spoiled it for you, but I'm not going to do that. Laura N, $50 super sticker. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, Mystery Game Studio. I don't know. Email me what you do, and I'm happy to collaborate. If by collaborate you mean you do all the work, then yeah, I'm into that. T Shobe. Shobe? AJ channel's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for the amazing content. Thank you. I watched all the videos in the past month. All of them? Today's video was number 83 or 84. I'm just scrolling, trying to catch up with you guys because I went off on the. It was a belch. I went off on the Mustang Ranch. Sorry about that. And and look, the steakhouse there is fantastic. It's a great steakhouse, and honestly, it's a fun place to visit. Like if you're in Reno, like I would go there. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you should go there just for the experience, just for the story to say you went. It's not as weird as you think. I don't know. Is that fair? Because there's Pony Boy. Yeah, I mean, there's normal people in there. I mean, it's not for kids, but it's basically it's a bar with a stripper pole, so it's not crazy. All the adult stuff happens kind of behind the scenes, like the ladies will come out and flirt with you in the bar, but all the dirty stuff happens behind the scenes. So you could go there just for tour, and lots of tourists go there. But Pony Boy, he was a huge fan of the brothel. He was a trucker. They get a lot of truckers in there. And he would go in. He would wear like a horse's kind of head, with his face sticking through within the horse head, and he would walk on these stilts that were shaped like horses' legs, and he'd walk on those with his horse head, and then he had a horse's tail attached to like a small dowel that he would put up where his tail would go. That would go up there, and he'd just kind of be wearing chaps with that hanging out, and he'd walk around the brothel like that. And they called him Pony, or he called himself Pony Boy. It wasn't your outsiders Pony Boy. It wasn't Stay Gold Pony Boy. But yeah, if you're up in Sparks, check it out. Madison Badger for $9.99. Thank you. Best channel on YouTube. Thank you so much. Creative, honest, and funny. I appreciate that. The try. You're not talking about the live streams, that's for sure, but the episodes. JC Kingsley, super chat for $5. Thank you for that. Also, do you by chance need contact info for Graham Hancock, Stephen Miller, Chris Dunn, or Brian Forrester for possible interview stuff? If you had the contact info, that would be cool. I'd love to talk to those guys. Chris Dunn, certainly, and Graham Hancock. I'm a huge fan of his. I don't know if you watched the episode where my brother and I were on Rogan. I even talked about Graham Hancock. I mean, we talked about Hancock for a while on that show, but I even said to Joe, I'm so excited. I'm sitting in the chair that Graham Hancock sat in. He's like, oh, you're fangirling out? I was like, I totally am. Evian Stick is laughing. I don't know it's funny. I don't know it's funny today. Jonathan Daniels, $4.99. Maybe someone asked this, but I just hopped on. Can you give us any clues or hints of what you're going to be covering in future episodes? Sure. What I think I'm going to start doing, I talked to the mods about this. I think the mods are still here, right? Right now we take topic suggestions on the tips line, which is that's not money tips, by the way. It's tips like you phone in a tip to a journalist. It's the yfiles.com/tips. And we have hundreds of them on there. And every topic I do, at least the last 30 or 40 have been from the tips line from you guys. But the problem I have is really me and Jen and the mods are the only ones who see them. So we're the only ones who could really talk about them, and a lot of repeats come in. So what I think we're going to do is move the tips line to the Y-Files Reddit, to the subreddit, because that's what Mr. Ballin does, and whatever he does is working. So if we take topic suggestions on the subreddit, then everyone can see them, and then we can upvote the ones that we want to do right away, and then we'll have a thread where we can talk about it and maybe post links to articles and videos or other resources that we can use, and then kind of get everybody involved. So let me know what you guys think about that. So Jonathan, yeah, so those would be the clues and the hints, or what's in the subreddit, because I try to make the channel as interactive as possible and make it so you guys know that you're a part of it, because you are. So until the subreddit gets up, what's coming is I think the next one we're going to do is finally going to do Phil Schneider and the Dulce base. The Dulce base that's Dulce, New Mexico, and that's a deep underground man-made bunker. So the Dulce base is an alleged underground facility created by the Air Force in the 70s. And Philip Schneider worked on the facility. He was an engineer and worked on the facility when they built it in 79. And Phil Schneider says that he had an altercation with aliens under the base. So am I spoiling it? I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but I'll tell you kind of what happened. So Philip Schneider, it's 1979, and he doesn't know why he's there. He's in Dulce, New Mexico, working as a contractor, but he's a military contractor, and he's worked on projects. And this is not a Bob Lazar, who we can't really confirm. Phil Schneider, we can look at his employment record and see that he was a military government contractor for years and did what he said he did. So he shows up on site on Dulce to start measuring and working on the base. That's what he does. And he sees that there's special forces there. Like there's construction guys and architects and scientists and special forces, which is unusual for a job site. So he doesn't know why they're there. So they're digging and digging, excavating, and he's dropping like piles, sinking piles to like support the structure. So they're drilling kind of these pilot holes for the piles. So he drills a pilot hole, and all of a sudden this black smoke rushes up, like just black smoke fills the air, and there's this stench that smells like, I don't know. He said it was like ozone and dead animals. I forget, but it was intense. So they didn't know if maybe they hit like a natural gas pocket or some type of pocket of gas or minerals or something. So he's one of the guys that would go down and investigate that. So he's taking the crane down through this hole, and he's like a, I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a hazmat suit is what I'd call it. He's called it something else, but he's in a hazmat suit. So the whole thing he's covered. Because they don't know what the stuff is that's coming out of the hole. So he goes down into the hole. I didn't mean to sound dramatic. He goes down into the hole, and he sees like a 6 or 7 foot tall gray alien down there, and he's kind of freaking out because he's not expecting that, and the alien starts acting strange, which they're going to do. They're aliens. So Phil Schneider freaks out. He has a sidearm, he says. He has a sidearm. This is Walter PPK. And he grabs it and he starts shooting at the alien, which is not a good idea. At least, you got to communicate first before you start squeezing off rounds. But he did. So he shoots at the alien. He kills the alien. And now other aliens come, and he's freaking out. So now special forces are dropping down through the hole in support. And there's now a firefight between special forces and the aliens. And they're using energy weapons, and the special forces, they're dropping like flies. 25 of them are dying. And aliens are getting killed too. It's a mess. And they're kind of getting down to the last couple of men. And one of the soldiers grabs Phil Schneider, gets him on the lift, and takes him up through the hole, and he credits that guy for saving his life. And from there, Phil Schneider becomes like a whistleblower. And he was touring the country for years, talking about his experience down there. Now, meanwhile, there are other stories about Dulcie Base. We've got the Bennewitz story, which was from a couple of weeks ago, that mentions Dulcie. But Bennewitz was just kind of aware of the base was down there, but was he aware of it because Richard Doty was lying to him about it? We don't know. But I didn't really get too much into Dulcie because I wanted to save some of this for Phil Schneider, one. And two, if you do a video on Dulcie Base on YouTube, they give you a context warning for misinformation and conspiracy, which is annoying. I'm just telling the story. But there are other people who have come forward saying they've been to Dulcie Base. And there was even a woman, and I think I might have mentioned her very briefly in that episode of Bennewitz, who was an abductee, kind of like in northern New Mexico. And she was an abductee. And she came down to with another policeman, and I won't get into it. That was Gabe from up there with the cattle mutilations. This will all make sense next week. All those pieces will come together. I'm sticking to the base. So she's an abductee, and she comes down to meet with Bennewitz, who's involved with like a hypnotist to help because he has like PTSD. I've got a sneeze it's in the pipe. So, excuse me if it pops out. I didn't get it. So, she comes down and the hypnotist puts her under and she remembers being in Dulcie Base. And what she sees down there is crazy. I don't know if I even want to tell you because, maybe you'll watch the video. But she sees crazy stuff. And I'm not going to tell you. But I will tell you that about 10 years later, a video came out that shows what she saw, which kind of corroborates her story, which you couldn't really talk about. I'm not going to tell you what she saw, but I am going to say that she described the base from the inside, and Richard Doty, who is the Air Force agent who is assigned to the Bennewitz case, said that she described it perfectly, and she shouldn't have because no one's allowed down there. Now, again, Richard Doty is a guy who tracked Bennewitz and was assigned to Bennewitz, and Doty's job was to feed Bennewitz misinformation about UFOs and Dulcie Base and all that stuff. And eventually Bennewitz essentially went crazy and because of this misinformation. But Richard Doty, the Air Force special agent with OSI, eventually came out and said all the stories of Roswell are true and UFOs are true, and we have aliens. We have the bodies. We had an alien that was alive for a couple of years. And Richard Doty is now part of the UFO community, I guess you could say, and gives talks at the conventions and says how everything is true. The problem is I don't know if we can believe him because he spent his whole career lying. I don't know if he's lying now. So we have all these different pieces with Dulcie Base and Bennewitz and the woman who was abducted and the things that were going on down there and the firefight and Richard Doty. All these pieces kind of come together, and Phil Schneider in his talks brings the pieces together. And he would talk for hours and hours. In 1996, Phil Schneider took his own life, and the circumstances in which he did that are very, very strange. So we're going to get into that next week. Dulce is how you pronounce it. Thank you, Nicholas. Nicholas Avila. So Dulce. He doesn't like my Spanish accent. Free Hecklevish. He's so quiet today. I can't hear you, buddy. Well, we'll have that fixed for you next time. It will get worse. Patchwork Welding, love the channel. More than happy to support you. Doing a great job. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Victoria, that's one of our mods. 2008 sucked. It did. That was a rough year. Yeah, I had a rough year myself. 2009 was hard too. 2010 was better because my brother and my wife and I got into the marijuana business. And that worked out pretty well for a while. But and then it worked. Then it didn't work at all. Then it was a disaster. That's a different story for a different time. Ronan for $10. Have you looked into the magnetic pole shift we're amidst? Check out the Adam and Eve story banned by the CIA in 1966 and the Suspicious Observers channel on YouTube for how it's tied to the micronova. I'll definitely check those out. I have looked into the magnetic pole shift. Remember, the magnetic pole shifts all the time. The pole shifts about 16 kilometers every year. It's never in the same place. It's constantly in motion. Big pole shifts have definitely occurred. We have evidence of that. And some will say we're overdue for one, but there's not really a cycle to it, at least that I found. But I do want to cover that in a kind of a different, in a more mysterious, weirder context. But that is coming. David Ford for $20, going to research Dulce bass now. Have a good one, everyone. See you, David. Thanks for the tip. Have I gotten to everybody? What do we got? We're at over an hour. Should we wrap it up soon? Tim Elf. Schneider was known to have psychotic breaks and was said to have mutilated his own hand. That's true. And Benowitz also had psychotic breaks. And a lot of the whistleblowers had psychotic breaks. But before Doug Benowitz had his psychotic break, he was fine. It was only when he got involved with the U.S. government and the U.S. military that did his mental state start to decline. Now, Philip Schneider did not have a background or didn't have mental problems when he was a military government contractor. If he did, he wouldn't have gotten the jobs. That stuff occurred after. So, maybe he was psychotic before. I don't know, but he had top secret clearance, and you can't get clearance when you have a sort of a history of mental illness. I know that from my experience, but my work with the government we'll do another show as well. But I was a contractor for about 15 years. Ancient builds. Cryptids, yeah, we can do some cryptids. Schizo Smurf, let's go Smurfs. Yeah, Smurf power today. Look, I'm looking at my camera right there. I'm normal there. Here, blue. Do you think it could be the light? Imagine it's the light this whole time. That's better, right? That's blue. I don't know. While we were doing the premiere, I was over here at the streaming computer getting it all set up. Super nervous. And I worked on this last night for hours trying to get it perfect for you guys. We've got Hecklefish down there. And I've got his microphone patched in. Come on, buddy. Don't let me down. I had his microphone patched in. I had it all working. Sound, everything was good. Shut down last night. Got up this morning, getting ready for the premiere. It's premiere day. Premiere day is hectic around here. We have to get up too early. Everybody's cranky, especially me. So I'm not in the mood to do anything. I just want to focus on the premiere. But we have the live stream right after. So I'm working on that while I'm kind of chatting with everybody in the premiere comments. And I'm over here and the audio is totally broken. So I'm trying to fix that and finally got everything fixed. Everything was working perfectly. And then as soon as I go live, blue face, Hecklefish is gone. Jen says that you can't see me, but I can see me. The only thing that works is this. That's it. Yeah, I know. Thanks for the tip. You guys didn't know there were lyrics to that song, did you? Matt C816 for $4.99. Thank you. Bob Lazar and UAPs. I'm going to, Bob Lazar is one that I need new information to make it worth it for you guys. Because what are you going to see that you haven't seen for the last 15 years with him? So I don't want to do a story that's just been done to death unless I could bring something new. So like with the cryptid story today with Dogmen, there wasn't really that much new in there for people who know that story. But what I tried to do is connect it to real life. So we did the hypertrichosis, people with hair everywhere. And then I thought the stories of the real life zombie werewolves was interesting. So that's kind of how I made that new. So for people that maybe aren't into cryptids, which I'm really not that into them, maybe it's more interesting to have that kind of stuff. So with Bob Lazar, I've got to find a way to make it unique, something that you couldn't get somewhere else. Because otherwise, why watch the channel, For the fish? Is your microphone working, buddy? I'm not hearing you. We'll get it. Kevin Diaz for $4.99. Thank you for that. Love the show. Thank you. Have you looked into Edwards Air Force Base in California? I have. Yeah, I mean, I used to hike up Verdugo Mountain with binoculars and stuff, and just kind of look and see what I could see from up there, because you could see a lot of stuff from, if you hike up the mountains, you could see a lot of stuff, and all kinds of military aircraft are coming in and out of there. But I didn't see anything weird, But Edwards is definitely connected to all that stuff. Shooby Dooby. No, Shooby. Let me get this right. Shooby Dooby for $5. Thank you. Do you ever do historical real life stories? I would love to see you do the history of Allen Dulles of the CIA during the Kennedy years and prior. Shooby Dooby, I do, and I have. Not in a while, because they didn't perform that well, and I hate to sound like a YouTube sellout for that. I really do, because I like a lot of those stories, and I don't know if you've watched it, but look for the one called the Embassy Thing Incident, and I think the thumbnail has children on it with their eyes blacked out. You'll like that, because that's a real life history of how the KGB bugged the American embassy in Moscow, and the bug was there for 7 years, and the US didn't know. So I love stories like that, but nobody really watched it, at least not compared to the weird stuff. If I do a video on UFOs, the numbers go bananas. If I do something that's more real life, which I enjoy doing, nobody really watches. Now, I'd like to say I should just be able to do what I want, and it's not about selling out or whatever. But, about 3 months ago, I went full-time on the channel, which is super scary. And the numbers have been good lately, but if they go down, it could be a family problem, so I got bills to pay. But I'd like to do more of that. Maybe if the channel gets bigger and stronger, I can mix in those real life videos, like the science videos I was talking about earlier. I'd love to mix those in. So maybe if I have more time, if we can get more help, then I would do 2 videos a week. That was the plan before. I can't get to it. The plan was to do Mondays be kind of a straight video, a science video, or a history one, and then Thursdays would be the mystery one, the Art Bell story. That's still the dream. DA, you're giving Bluetooth a new meaning. Yeah, that's funny. Renter 19, where's Hecklefish? She's right here. I haven't patched in from the studio. You just can't hear him. See? And I think I could fix it, but I don't want to put you on hold. All right, so we went from 2,800 down to 2,700. So if we're starting to fade, then I'll split. LTS wants MK Ultra. We got into that a bit a couple of weeks ago, so look for that. And the week before that, we mentioned it. That's another one that deserves its own video, but I need more original information to make it worth your while. Jan Gitlin, have you done an episode on the staircases in national forests? I haven't yet because I don't want to disappoint anyone, because most of the pictures that we see online about the strange staircases in the forests are either hoaxes or they're stairs that are going down to like a river, or someone will take a picture when the river is exceptionally low, so it just looks like a staircase going nowhere. But if you take that picture and you know where it's taken and you just kind of change your angle, you'll see that there's a riverbed there that clearly it fills up sometimes, and those are stairs to the river. Now, that's not to say there aren't some weird ones out there, but because there are. But most of them are hoaxes, stairs to water, or a couple of artistic kind of constructions. The actual weird ones, I couldn't find that many. So that's the kind of story that I don't want to just do a whole debunking video. It's frustrating. You want to have some fun with the story. But if I could find more staircases, then I would definitely do it. We've got Douglas for $10, a new subscriber here. Welcome aboard. I just binge watched all your videos in 2 weeks. I appreciate that because YouTube loves when you binge. Question: have you tried to hunt down all the legends/myths behind the X-Files episodes? Just curious. I haven't, but that's a great idea. That's a fun idea to see what the X-Files covered, because there's a lot of crossover. Oh, I missed that show. I know it came back, but it wasn't the same. Did Chris Carter, was he show running the reboot? I don't think he was. I think he was working on something else. But those first few seasons where Chris Carter was show running and writing, yeah, you can really tell that he loved the show. PT, thank you for the $20. There's no question. Nicholas Bender, you should do a vid on the Kentucky anomaly. It's acknowledged. That's ominous. It's acknowledged. That sounds like your code. Nicholas, are you the Kentucky anomaly? Be honest. I never heard that. So put that on the tips line or email me. Looking for comments. Lumpy Dog, Hecklefish t-shirts, please. Are you serious? There's a whole store full of those. And here's the one I'm wearing now. I went to Mel's Hole, and all I got was this magic seal fetus. You remember that from Mel's Hole? This t-shirt idea came from someone on Twitter. So I stole his idea. I sent him a free shirt, though. I sent him a free shirt for it. I thought it was such a great idea, because that's what Hecklefish said when you saw it. So yeah, Lumpy, there are t-shirts. Email me for a coupon code. If anyone wants a coupon code, email me. Put coupon code in the subject line. Put coupon code in the subject line, and I'll email you back a coupon code sometime in the next few days. Put coupon code in the subject line. If you don't put it in the subject line, don't email me an angry email that you didn't get your coupon code. My email, everyone has my email, and I check it. I read all of them. And some people get snotty. They get snotty with me on there. Look, don't. Why? Someone emailed me, and I didn't write them back for 2 days, and they got really upset about it. And that's disappointing. I'm sorry. Just big shout out to the mods, Jim and Daniel and Victoria and Diamond Dust, Jacob. You guys are doing a great job. Gina Walpole, Kenny Veach and the M Cave would make a good episode. I agree. That's almost finished. The research is done. I mean, the research was done, 6 months ago, because I love that story. But like the script is about halfway done. This one's just about finding a place for it. I hope people like it. There's a belch in there. The sneeze never came, right? The belches are, but the sneeze never came. I hope people like the Kenny Veach episode. I kind of suspect that it's not going to do that well. Because it's just not weird enough. So I'm going to try to make it weird. I'm not going to fake it. There are some weird theories around it, most of which are very strange, but I'll try to bring those in just to make the story more weird. But otherwise, it's basically just a missing persons case. Man, I'm not going to spoil it. You know how it ends. I'm not going to spoil it. LTSCJ with another suggestion, Nibiru. That's a good suggestion. That's on the list. That's on the list. Planet X is on the list. That's going to roll into like when we do the Anunnaki. It's going to be part of that. Jonathan May for $20. Thank you for that. Maybe you could cover the current story with a woman author that interviewed the high clearance government employee that worked during Roswell incident that swears that graves where mongoloid children were surgically altered. There's a lot wrong with that comment, but I love it. It's so funny. I don't know the woman author you mean, but I'm going to Google woman author Roswell incident mongoloid children, and I'm going to see what I get. Jimmy's random content for $5. Thank you for that. Just a show on all things pyramids from around the world would be great. I have a fascination with 11,500 BC. That's the Younger Dryas. That's when it all happened. I have a fascination with that too. I have a feeling that all of our current civilization points back to those few years. Those few years, specifically 974 BC. But yeah, the Younger Dryas, I think it all goes back to there. I just had to put this up the throttle crack. Are you familiar with the warrant for the Queen's arrest in BC, Canada? I'm not familiar with that, but with Canada's slow march towards fascism, I'm not surprised. And I don't say that to be too political, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about truckers or anything. I'm talking about the bill C11 that Canada is doing right now. If you're a Canadian YouTube consumer or a creator, you need to be aware of it and speak out against it. What the bill will do is it's being promoted by the Minister of, I don't know what you have up there. I think it's the Minister of Culture or something like that. And this bill will force YouTube and other platforms like Instagram and all of them to promote in your feed and on your homepage and your recommendations more Canadian specific content that promotes Canadian culture. Now, I'm all for that. I think Canadian culture is cool. I like toques and maple syrup and back bacon and Bob and Doug McKenzie and all that stuff. And big shout out to the RCMP. I'm a huge fan of that force. So yeah, I love all the Canadian culture, but I want to choose what's in my feed, don't you? Or do you want a government choosing? Because that's what the bill C11 will do. Is the Canadian government will decide what content to promote towards Canadian viewers. So if you weren't aware of that, that's what's going on up there right now. Ian Zoda, we love your show. Thank you for that, Dig Hecklefish. He's not universally loved. He's divisive. Only complaint is we wait all week for your show, and as soon as it's over, we're jonesing for the next one. I'm sorry. I was actually got this episode done about a day early this week, but normally it's last minute. Tim Elf Doty should be locked up for what he did to Benowitz, drove the man insane, and it led to his death. I agree. He should have been brought to justice, but it's the military and its intelligence. It's like you can't really have justice there, because when you have justice, you need a trial, and when you have trial, you need discovery. When you have discovery, the government has to admit what they did, and they're not going to do that. That's why we have some whistleblowers and hackers who are overseas probably going to do an episode on one of these guys. The hacker who got into NASA and found the secret Space Force. I forget his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, he fled to the UK, and they can't extradite him. But the United States can extradite anybody from the UK. The United States can extradite a royal from the UK if they wanted to. The US government would just go to the UK and get you. You know, that's what would happen if the US government wants you and you flee to the UK. That's not, they'll find you, and they'll find you in London. But they couldn't extradite this guy who hacked NASA and hacked the Department of Defense. They couldn't extradite him. Things kept getting in the way, and they didn't, the United Kingdom, the government, British government got involved. And and this is like 15 years. He's still quote unquote wanted by the US government, but they can't get him here. And it's because if they bring him here, he goes on trial and he'll just say what he saw, what he found in the files, in the NASA files. So I'd like to do a video on him. Someone in the comments is going to know who I'm talking about. So drop his name in there. That's him. McKinnon is UK citizen, didn't fly there. Gary McKinnon. That's right. He's, I believe he's Scottish. That's right. Gary McKinnon. But still, yeah, he didn't fly there. But the US can fetch you from Glasgow. They can get you. So I think it's weird. Die Glocke, please. That's the Nazi bell. That'd be a good episode. The episode I think for that one is kind of all the Nazi technology. You have to be careful with YouTube, because they don't like Nazi, they don't like Hitler. I mean, nobody's really a fan, but I mean, if you use those words in your video, it's a whole thing. It's a whole process. There's no monetization. It's limited distribution. So I have to go through a manual review process, which can take a few days. So I need to be early with that post. Otherwise, you guys will never see the video. A couple of super chats coming in I don't want to miss. So I would like to do the Nazi technology, but I want to make sure I have enough time to get ahead of it. So there's the inevitable YouTube censorship. We can cover it. PT for $20. Keep the brain candy coming. Your videos are the brain candy. Love that, Hecklefish. And yes, Canada is done. Yeah, that's sorry to say. I like it up there. Big box of stuff, 21 for $2. Thank you for that. Dive buoy. I get it. Have you ever looked into Nazis that were folded into our government post-World War II? Theories say they're responsible for starting many of the three-letter agencies started after the war. Viva la Hecklefish, love the channel. I've heard that too. And there's not hard evidence, but there's evidence of that. I mean, you've got von Braun becomes the director of NASA. He's portrayed historically as, someone who he had to be part of the Nazi party because everyone had to be when you were there. And, he was just following orders. But you see all those pictures of him with the SS and everybody. He looks like he's having a great time. He's having a ball over there. Eric Devlin, were you on Long Island during 9/11? I was. We were due to go into Manhattan that day, my brother and I. That's when we were government contractors back in those days. So we were supposed to be there that day. We were there just the day before. We had a client down just a couple of blocks from Ground Zero. So now Gino, my brother, says we were supposed to be in the tower that day because Cantor Fitzgerald is kind of, a financial company, was one of our clients, and they were on the 86th floor and one of the towers. I forget which one. And Gino says we were supposed to be there for a meeting that day. I don't remember that. So I don't want to be one of those guys that says, I was supposed to, I was supposed to be on the flight. I don't remember. He thinks we were, but we were supposed to be in Manhattan. So I remember the day vividly and specifically. I mean, I remember what the air smelled like and what the sky looked like that day. I remember exactly where I was when the second tower fell, where I was in the car listening to the radio when the tower came down. And as a New Yorker, especially someone who lived and worked in and near the city, I can't get the taste out of my mouth of what the air tasted like and smelled like. It was like burnt. It was like an electrical burnt plastic kind of smell and taste. But you also knew that the taste and the ash that was on everything was also people. So it was a weird, hard time to be around. And that's why, 9/11, the anniversary every year now, I know a lot of people don't really even pay attention to it anymore. I saw one of the news agencies and didn't even cover it. But if you're from New York and you lived through it, you remember it like it was yesterday, not 20 years ago. I mean, I'm telling you, I can't remember anything from the last 20 years. But I remember that day, every minute of that day. Alex Chapman for $2, thank you. Victor Greblinkov uses bug wings vibration to fly. I don't know that one, but I like it. Kelvin, this is a great channel. Thank you. Love the interaction. Thank you. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I'd like to help you with the Mandela effect. I don't know. So Kelvington wants to help with the Mandela effect video. Cool. Email me or let me know how you can help, because that's a video that I'm kind of staying away from because it's been done so many times, and I'm not a true believer. I'm a small believer, but I'm not a true believer in the Mandela effect. I think it was mostly false shared memory. But the Moonraker movie, I can't get over that. She had braces at the end of that movie. I can swear it, but she didn't. Trace Helper for $10. Thank you, sir. Love your show. I'd like to see an episode on items that are haunted or carry energy, artifacts, war relics. I'm glad you asked that, because I had that on my list, like cursed items. But I wasn't sure if anyone would really be into it. So it's really helpful to see that stuff from you guys. The Orion lines, I don't know. Oh, Rushin Malone. I have evidence. You have evidence that World War I was adrenochrome trade for technology with aliens from Orion. Okay. And you plugged your website. Cool. Hey, look, you got a $5 plug. I respect that. First band, Justin Trudeau, Field Castro, Chase Dems, both are okay. So look, we stay away from the politics on the channel, especially in the Discord, because I don't want to have a left-right fight. I don't want to do that. So I get what you're saying, and you're blaming the Dems, but that just means that you're not fully awake, because it's not just the left. I'm telling you. And look, if you follow my channel, I don't get political, but you kind of know my politics are anti-government. If you're anti-government, I'm very libertarian, kind of pro-choice on everything. Let me pin those comments. I'm pro-choice on everything, which means half of the people agree with me on half of the things at any time. But being libertarian also means that I'm not going to buy into the left or the right. So maybe I'll make it a theme with every live stream. If you think that everyone on the left is the problem, or if you think that everyone on the right is the problem, then you are the problem. So you got to wake up. Look, I'll admit the left has got us in a lot of this mess. But look at the Republican candidates. Look at the candidates. So look, we worked in government, my brother and I. And our clients were specifically government officials. Maybe this is why I'm anti-government. So our clients were specifically congressmen. That was mostly what they were. Congressmen and women. Big ones from both sides of the aisle. Big name brands. We worked for at least 2 sitting presidents from different parties, which half of you will hate either one of them. State senators, state houses, all of them. I'm not going to list it all. We had a ton of government clients. So we were constantly meeting politicians. And I'm telling you that no one is impressive. No one's impressive with these people. They're all very shallow and very selfish, and they don't care about you. So all the Democrats that you'll die on the Hill for, all the Republicans that you're going to die on the Hill for, they don't care about you. They don't care about you one bit. They care about themselves. But who do you vote for? Saturday mornings, politics makes me sleepy. And that's good. Mostly just makes me angry. Hunter Green, thank you for the $4.99. Pika Chuba Cabra. Okay, can't watch because it's my work day, but coming in to throw some appreciation and a thumbs up. See you on the Discord. Everyone join the Discord. I'm going to leave a link to the Discord. I'm going to try to. I got it. Hang on. I got it. I'm trying. This has been we've had some bugs today. Now we're up to 2,900. I thought we were going down. All right. I'm grateful. I'm happy that you guys are there. Hang on, Discord link. I just wish there was more to give you. So I know, mods, we're gonna start doing the Patreon. We'll start doing the Patreon member live streams, and I think they're going to be like this, mostly Q&As. This is an opportunity for another plug. I haven't done one in an hour. If you want to support the channel, you want to support the Wi-Fi, support what I do and what the mods do, the best way to do that is through Patreon. It's not expensive to become a member, $3 a month or more. You get some perks. You get lots of perks. More perks are coming. They're on me about it. You could support the channel by buying something from the Wi-Fi store. That's super helpful. Super chats are great. The super chats, super stickers. YouTube gets a lot of that money. Supporting the channel through the merchandise is great because I've kept those prices as low as I possibly can. So if you buy a t-shirt, the channel only makes like $2, maybe $3 on that. And if they have to ship it like overseas, I actually lose money on that. Like for everyone in Europe who buys a t-shirt, I spend $5 for you to get your t-shirt. But that's cool. I don't mind that because it's like this is all of our baby. It's our community. So I like the idea of someone in Czechoslovakia walking around with a Hecklefish t-shirt. I'm going to spend money to do that. My point is, I don't jack up those prices on the shop because I can't see charging someone $30 for a t-shirt. It just seems like a ripoff. So Patreon is probably the best place to support because the channel keeps most of that money. I think we pay like 5% and a fee on it. With YouTube, we pay 40, 50%. And with the merchandise, I keep maybe 10, 15% of that. So hardly anything. But I love having the store. People send in the pictures. Let me see if I can get. I haven't seen this. All right. There's the Wi-Fi site. So if you buy something from the store, send a picture in. This is some of our. I mean, are these great or what? There's Mel's hole. I mean, come on, you kidding? Adorable. Right? Brothers. There's Jim and his mom. Yeah, I mean, so buy something from the store, send it in, and we'll put it up there. See, you hear that cha-ching sound? That means someone just bought something, or an angel got its wings. Kevin Villa for $5. Right or left cults? Yes, it's tribalism. It's Yankees versus Red Sox. Go Yankees, by the way. I'm from the Bronx. Red Sox suck. But that's what it is. It's tribalism. And remember, that's the way they want it. And the reason for the no politics, especially on the Discord, is first of all, I don't want the fighting in there. Because anyone who calls themselves a news junkie and wants to talk about politics above anything else, just run away. Because that person's annoying. Have your views, but be a neighbor. But another reason for no politics in the Discord is I don't want anyone really to know what anyone believes in that regard. Because there will be people that you'll hang out with on Discord that you'll have known for months, that you really get along with, that you feel like you have a relationship with them. And then you find out that they voted a different way and suddenly they're a jerk. So what happened to all that other time? And that's kind of like the point of it is the tribalism makes us feel like that we're so different with the way we feel, but we're really not. We're really someone who votes Republican or votes Democrat. Most of those people, that 80% of those people that aren't on Twitter, those people agree on so many things. So many things. We just want lower gas prices and, better lives for our family and no hate speech. This common sense stuff. What happens in your bedroom is your business. We don't care. Who you want to marry doesn't matter. That we all fully believe that. So yeah, that's why I don't want it. Because why be angry at somebody that you had a great relationship with? I've lost friends over this. Robert for $1.99 from Elon, North Carolina. Keep it the thanks, man. Appreciate that. Grover Bentley, government is the problem. What about a video on ESG, social credit? Is that coming to America? Grover, I agree. Government is the problem. A video on ESG. Here's the problem. ESG, that's the social credit. That's the environmental, social, government kind of social credit score that that a lot of countries have. Grover asks, is it coming to America? The answer is it's already here. And it's a reason why I don't cover ESG. Is because ESG is mostly promoted by a company called BlackRock, which is the biggest company that nobody ever heard of. BlackRock is a financial manager that holds in its portfolio trillions of dollars of assets, more assets than the gross national product of the United States of America are in the portfolio of BlackRock. They are majority or big owners in companies we all know. They are huge owners of stock in a large percentage of the Dow. And when you own stock, you get votes. So they control a lot of sort of the internal and politics of corporations and really the external politics of corporations. Because if you want BlackRock's financial support, you need to submit BlackRock will give you an ESG rating. So I don't know if there's people that are investors or 401ks or what you guys do, but let's say my 401k is through betterment.com and you just open a small account. You don't really even see what's in there unless you want to. And you just say, just invest stuff for me, for when I retire. And then they go and they invest in funds and stocks and stuff. And those funds invest in other stocks and so on and you kind of don't really know what the companies are until you drill down and see what they're really investing in. And when you finally get to those companies are given an ESG score from BlackRock. And if your ESG score is not high enough, BlackRock won't buy your stock. But BlackRock owns more stock than any other group in the world. So if BlackRock doesn't buy your stock, if BlackRock buys your stock goes up and everybody makes money. If they sell your stock, it goes down, everyone loses money. Some people got upset at Disney these last couple of years. BlackRock owns a ton of Disney. BlackRock owns a ton of Google or Alphabet, which is YouTube. YouTube gets an ESG score. If their ESG score goes down, they lose investment. How does ESG score go down? By us reporting about ESG, because YouTube will not allow it. I mean, they'll allow it, but you'll never see it. They'll never promote it. It'll get buried. I wonder if ESG videos have a warning on them or a context flag or something. That's how it is. You gotta do the kind of content that YouTube wants you to do. You know, I'd love to do a fake moon landing video. I would love to do it because it's fascinating. And there's a lot of great pictures and quote unquote evidence about how the moon landing was faked. I mean, it's compelling. If I can get Hecklefish to talk, he would even say something about it, but his mic's not off. We'll get it working. So there's so much to talk about with the moon landing, but YouTube will kill it. And the channel's not strong enough. CG for $2. Love my Hecklefish for President shirt. Awesome. Yeah, that's a fun one. Christopher K for $1.99. What do you know about the TR3B? I know nothing about it, but put it on the tips line or drop it in here. Yep, I'm waking up to me. Just scrolling through. Are we caught up on super chats? Sammy the Bulls for $10. Dybbuk boxes. Dybbuk be a good show. I don't know what that is. Let's see. What, wine cabinets? Mysterious wine cabinets? You have to give me more, Sammy, because, you know, how do we do a show on furniture? You know, maybe I'm missing it. Lifestyle Brows for $10. Thank you for that. Lifestyle Brows. Like these? Are you a grooming product? Look, if you're going to put $10 in the super chat and you've got a business, plug it. Plug your website or whatever. I don't care. I'd rather you get the money than YouTube. Stajilla for $10. Thank you for that. Hey, love the channel so much. Have you by chance done a video on the Denver airport's conspiracy? Thanks in advance. I haven't, but it's high on the list. We took a poll on the channel a while ago, a few months ago, and I put a few, maybe 5 or 6 different subjects in there and just wanted people to vote on what they wanted next, or at least highest priority. And surprisingly, Denver Airport came in first. That surprised me because it's been there for a while, and the airport administration has sort of, I don't know, kind of owned the fact that they're a conspiracy theory. They've owned it so much that it's kind of condescending, actually, which I'll cover in the video. But I haven't done it because it's kind of an old subject. But that's one that we're going to do. Kenny Veach was on that list too, but I think he came in last, which is sad because I like that one. Jet Poe for $5. Thank you for that. Would love a video on paranormal entities like shadow people and sleeping paralysis demons. Shadow people is in the works or high on the list. Sleeping paralysis demons. I have started a video on sleeping paralysis, on sleeping in general, because Daniel, our fantastic mod, did a ton of research on dreams. So I'd like to do a video on dreaming and sleep paralysis and lucid dreaming, because those are subjects that interest me. But it goes back to, will people watch them? You know, because if you come here for the UFOs, will you stay for the lucid dreaming? I don't know. I hope you would, but I don't know. Tell me in the comments. And I don't mean to be like weird, like, you know, hit 2 in the comments if you support. No, I mean, I'm seriously asking, like, would you stick around? Because I know that most of you are here for the weird stuff. Like, will you watch videos on just lucid dreaming, on just what dreams are there for, the science of dreams, of what happens to people when they don't dream? You know, some of the experiments that have happened over the years about sleep deprivation. Lucid dreaming, I think, is super interesting and fun. Everyone knows what this is, but just in case, lucid dreaming is when you are aware in your dream that you are dreaming and you can take control of it. And it's a skill that you can learn to do. It's just super hard. I've done it. I've done it many times in my life, and I've done it consistently enough when I'm really working on it. And by consistently, I mean once a month, twice a month, you get it to work. But when you get it to work, it is the most bizarre but fascinating and kind of invigorating feeling you almost will ever get. Because when you finally realize you're in a dream, you go, oh my God, it works. It's a dream. And then you could do whatever you want. So you always end up flying. So you fly anywhere, you see anything, go anywhere. And the biggest problem you have when you're lucid dreaming is staying lucid. So you learn all these techniques about how to stay lucid in the dream because you feel it slipping away. Like you're aware, like you're in control of everything. You're like, oh, I want to manifest this, or I want to go here. But then you feel like the dream state coming back. It's weird because it doesn't just happen. You feel it coming on and you're like, oh no, I don't want to lose it. So you can do things like spin around or, count your fingers. There's different things you can do to stay in the dream. It kind of like Inception is really what it is. It's like real life Inception. So I'd love to do a video on that because you can see how excited I am, but I don't know if people would be into it. So let me know if you would. Harley Myers, my BF on Long Island, call after each new video. We're both to science and research. Appreciate your well-researched Mitchell. Thank you for that. Chop for $5. Check out the UFO reports in Ukraine right now, specifically above the old atomic Chernobyl. Just watching. Can you link me? Link me to that. Let me get this while I'm thinking of it. It's a plug. I'm doing a plug. Obnoxious, but I'm going to do a plug. So UFOs over Chernobyl, just watching. That's fascinating. Because they seem to do that, right? Roswell is just a few miles from Los Alamos and the first atomic detonation. I mean, these are not coincidences. And I think it was, I don't know if it was hoaxed. I don't think it was, but it might have been the test at the Bikini Atoll where they saw objects flying in the clouds. It maybe wasn't that test because that's a famous one, but there was an atomic test where you can see craft flying around there. So I would love to see what's going on above Chernobyl. And the reason I bring that up, and I'm gonna plug the Y-Files Twitter. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and follow OMG the Y-Files. I try to tweet every day if I can, but I engage with everybody on there. So on Twitter, what I wrote was, dear aliens, you know how you're always showing up to prevent nuclear apocalypses? You still have our back? Please tell Valiant Thor to keep an eye on the news. It's getting scary. Sincerely, citizens of Earth. So yeah. So I hope the aliens are keeping an eye on stuff because it's definitely scary I am half expecting to wake up to the news that Russia used a tactical nuke. I'm really half expecting it. And I try not to even think about it so much because I don't want to manifest it. I don't want to put it out there in the universe because I can see him totally doing it. And remember, tactical nukes in the Russian military do not have to be signed off by the head of state. A field commander can let loose one of those devices. So go ahead and follow the Y-Files if you want. You don't have to. I'm just plugging it. And Hecklefish has his own channel. But I can't get the audio to work. It's working this morning. Oh, thank you for shopping at the store. I appreciate that. Scrolling through. Boom Slang, $5.29 for $10. Thank you. Have you heard about the early 1900s Smithsonian article about the cave in the Grand Canyon? I have. That's Kincaid's Cave. And that's coming up. It's a great story. Fataku, you missed my first super chat. I'm sorry about that. And you paid again? And you paid $10? You don't have to do that. You could pay $1. If I catch it, I'll let it through. You don't have to go heavy. You missed my first super chat. Just want to say my parents and I are big fans. Thank you. Also, John Teeter may be a hoax, but kind of scary that his World War III prediction might be coming true, right? Yep. And I don't know if I told you guys, but Joseph Matheny reached out to me after seeing the episode on Teeter. He was the guy who allegedly created John Teeter, with his friends. And what was cool about Matheny reaching out was it wasn't like somebody emailed him and said, hey, this channel on YouTube is talking about you. He said he follows the channel and watches the episodes. So that was kind of cool. I asked if he was working on anything new because he's a super smart, creative guy. And he's always ahead of his time on a lot of stuff. So I asked, if you're working on anything, come on a live stream and we'll talk about it. He just doesn't want to talk about John Teeter, which I understand. But I mean, if we had Matheny on and the chat going, I know what the chat would be. We want to know more about John Teeter. We want proof of John Teeter. I wouldn't blame anyone. I want to know. I just, he's a guest on your show. I'm not going to press him on it. I wouldn't press him like the news media presses our politicians. But I think it'd be interesting to do those kind of to do an interview as a live stream as opposed to recorded, because then I can kind of hide it under the live tab so it's not in the way of the other stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. Doing interviews, not really interviews. I really wouldn't be it would be more like a conversation. Because I've also heard from Debbie Oakes, who was from the Dodelston messages. She was one of the people that was part of the messages, and she would come on and talk about that. And she said she would correct the record on some of the things I got wrong in the video, which thankfully wasn't that much. But I'd like to have her on. But I need to know that you're interested in that. Chris Meisel or Measel, hey, I love you too, man. I'm just scrolling through. I want to see my Congress wearing that gear. Me too, man. RC Stunt Studio, do you ship to India? I think so. Actually, I don't think so. I think I'd have to turn that on. And I think we've only got the US, Canada, Mexico, the EU, and Israel. And that's mostly because that's what I can afford. To ship to outside of those areas was really expensive. And remember, I don't pass those costs on. And look, and if you buy a t-shirt and you pay $12 shipping, I know they're charging you that because I've seen the receipts. I don't get that money. But not only that $12 shipping you paid, they billed me $20. That's just how it's working right now. It's COVID and supply chain and all kinds of stuff. And look, if you've ordered from the store and you're still waiting for stuff, I'm sorry, but people are waiting. They definitely are. And I don't have a lot of control over it. So what I've been doing with a lot of people, if you're still waiting and you're upset, just email me. I'll give you a refund. I don't mind. And if something still shows up, just go ahead and keep it as a gift. Czechoslovakia split in 1993, but I will wear it. Thank you for the support. I'm just scrolling through, and we're coming up on 2 hours, so I'm going to wrap it up. Hunter Green for $4.99. Thank you. You should follow this up with an episode on the Michigan Melonheads, another Michigan cryptid. I've heard of those. A couple of people asked about those. I'll look into that. Scrolling through. All right, I'll just put this up here because I know you want it. Go Braves. No, we're strictly Yankee fans here. Bro, you got to change hue and saturation to fix the color. Yeah, I know. It's not the hue and saturation. That's all fine. It's through Streamlabs. And yes, I can fix the hue in Streamlabs, but you'd have to sit here and watch me tinker with the software for a couple of minutes while I do that. Just like Hecklefish's Mike. You can't hear him. He's in the other room right now. I have him patched in, but you can't hear it. I can fix it. But you would have to 2,800 people would have to sit here and watch me tinker with it. This is a low enough level of entertainment as it is with just this. Having me just clicking like my head down for 10 minutes. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I know how to do it. And you broed me. You broed me. I love it, bro. I've got to put this up here. Jim Hoffman. BlackRock is buying up homes left and right too. I didn't know that. Driving up home prices. I didn't know that. I know the Chinese government is one of the largest property owners in the country now. Several people have asked about doing a BlackRock video. I can't do it. You know, there's a channel that I follow. I'm going to go ahead and plug him. It's a channel. It's called Moon. And if any of you guys know how to get in touch with him, I'm not looking to just tell him I'm a fan. So Moon, this is a good channel if you're into the BlackRock type stuff and the ESG. He covers BlackRock many times. But he also gets into how Facebook is evil, Amazon's evil, TikTok. He kind of gives you the behind the scenes of that. And his research is pretty good. I wish his B-roll was better, but his writing is good. And the narration is good. And the videos are good. And I watch them as soon as they come out. So, so if you know who BlackRock is, you would like this channel. Like Bill Gates. Bill Gates makes money every time someone gets a vaccination. Thank you for ordering. Yeah, every time someone gets a vax, he makes money. So I guess I'm kind of catching up to here where we were with BlackRock. So BlackRock is ruining Netflix. So that's true. If you remember, Netflix pushed back when the employees were complaining about whatever they complain about. Netflix issued a memo that said, look, we have content from all types of people with all types of views. And if you can't handle that, then maybe this isn't the place for you. That was the right thing to say. But you know, BlackRock is not pleased with that. And still, Netflix is still a problem. You know, I don't want to go into the woke stuff here because it feels political, even though it's not. I really don't think the woke thing is political. I think the right is attaching that to the left. But my life has more Democrats and liberals in it than conservatives. Very few libertarians. I'm the weird one. My Democrat and liberal friends and progressive friends that I've known my whole life are not fans of the woke, whatever it is. And they don't like it being attached to the left. But I think that's the right doing that. Mimi for $10. Thank you for that. But I was getting at, I think we're at peak, whatever the woke, we're at peak anger, victimization, all that stuff. I think we peaked at it. Everybody knows racism is bad. Nobody wants that. I think we're sick of being condescended to by the media and by entertainment. Could be wrong, but I think we're over it. And because the economy is going to get worse and get bad, a lot of us are just not going to have time for it. I'm not going to care about it. I'm not going to be able to afford HBO Max to complain about it. I'm not dropping HBO Max because House of the Dragons is good. But I'm not going to need Amazon Prime. Rings of Power is terrible. Hunter Green, to your point, AJ, one of my closest friends differs politically speaking from me, but we talk respectfully about politics every now and again. Generally speaking, we just hang out and laugh. That's the way to do it. Because look, most of my friends are left of me, but we make it a joke, like which you can't do anymore. Black friends, gay friends, Asian friends, have them all. Remember my buddy Scott? Scott is a great friend of mine. He's a gay man. We travel to a brothel together. Black friends, gay friends, Asian friends. I've got them all. Hispanic, everybody. I've got them all in my life. We all get along. And what do? We tease each other. I can make a black joke to my buddy Ian. Ian, you're watching? Ian's in Vegas. Because we do it all the time. And he's on me all the time about white stuff, you know, and it's just the stupid jokes constantly about dancing. We're always talking about dancing and jumping. Because we, you know, we're two old guys, a black and white guy. That's what we got. But we're having fun. Josh is Chinese. He's my buddy forever. And Chinese jokes, and he makes white jokes, and there are white people jokes. You can't do that now. You can't make a joke. You're gonna make, you as a white male, you're gonna make a black joke or an Asian joke on Twitter. Are you crazy? You crazy? I would never do it. And if you're watching this and you know, and you're getting to know me, you know that there's no hate in my heart. I have opinions and views, but there's no hate in my heart of people. I just, you know, I don't jump to conclusions, but they do. And then you're canceled. And you know, I can't afford for the channel to be canceled. I'm already drifting way too dangerously into subjects here. I know Gino's going to call me later and say, you can't do any of that. I'm just scrolling through. Gary Hansen, how do I fart? All right, so here's what you need to do. Assuming that you've got one in the chamber. If you don't, then you're going to need to ingest something that's going to create gas in your intestine. Now, for me, sugar alcohol does it. You know, if you're in a low sugar diet or you're trying to keep the weight off, you know, I got rid of my COVID pounds. Go look at the videos from 6 months ago and look at that fat guy compared to now. So sugar alcohol for me, that gets everything going, because sugar alcohol doesn't get absorbed in the intestine. It actually ferments and creates gas. And everyone has their own thing. Beans, you know, are famous for being the musical fruit. Whatever you can do to create gas in your intestine. Or you could be just naturally flatulent and gassy. So once that sort of bubble of gas moves down to your lower intestine, to your colon, you'll feel that pressure, you know, just on the other side of your sphincter, which, assuming that you've got natural, normal muscle control, your sphincter's typically going to be closed. It's going to keep that shut for you. So once you feel that gaseous pressure against your sphincter, the first thing you want to do, I'm answering your question. How do I fart? I'm answering your question. The first thing you do is you want to make sure that it actually is gas and not, you know, a bowel movement. Because this is a crucial step. This is a big step. You get this step wrong, and you're going to become famous for it. You know, if you're with other people, or it's, you know, you're going to be sad. You're going to be dirty. So this is a crucial step. Make sure that it is gas, and then you start to you apply sort of abdominal pressure. And what you do is you feel your diaphragm, and you push down your diaphragm, and you sort of clench your abdominal muscles, and that will start to contract down through what's called your lower pelvic muscle, which is a band of muscles that wraps sort of around your lower area. And male, it doesn't, Gary's, I'm assuming you're a man, but men and women both have it's called the lower pelvic floor. And you contract the lower pelvic floor, and that will release the sphincter just slightly, and will allow the gas to come through, creating that sound that sounds, you know, that kind of raspberry sound, you know, letting the air out of a balloon. Like if you look at the tip of a balloon, it kind of looks like your sphincter, and that's why it makes that sound. So you apply that pressure, gas comes out, sound is made. If someone's pulling your finger, you have a laugh, and that's really it. You know, if you need me to go over that again, let me know, and I'll put in the comments. But thank you for that. Keenan Key for $4.99. Is there a conspiracy that you heavily believe in? That's a good question. Heavily, I don't know. A little. Let me put this up. That's important. I believe in all of them a little bit. Heavily believe in it would be the UFOs, but I don't even think that's a conspiracy anymore, right? The last few years, isn't it like everybody believes in UFOs, that there are UFOs? So I believe in that. I don't know what it is. You know, it's really hard. The government, especially the United States government, is so awful. So they lead me to believe everything. Remember, I was a contractor, so I worked with a lot of those people. Big box of stuff 21. Just check. No content warning for ESG and several videos on top. That's great to know. Now, am I going to alienate people on ESG? Because again, it's a political issue. So ESG is a heavily progressive, issue. And I don't want to alienate anyone. And look, no matter what you believe, environment, so all that stuff, everybody wants a clean environment. Nobody wants discrimination against anybody for anything. But it's now a left-right thing, and I don't want to annoy anybody. Samuel Aragon. You're not from Numenor, right? Aragon. Thanks for this live stream. Talk about over-delivering. Love the show. Love the objective way. Which great attention. Thank you. Oh, and underground Dulcie alien base when? Okay. Yeah. Dulcie's coming soon. Allegedly haunted whole demons or something. All right. I'll try that. JP Hernandez for $1.99. How does one become a moderator? That's a good question. The first thing you do is you have to spend a lot of time in Discord, engaging with people and being awesome and making people feel welcome. And I'll leave a link to the Discord. But becoming a moderator is pretty much by invitation only, as far as I know. Because look, the moderators control who's a moderator. Like I logged in the other day. I'm like, oh, Jacob got promoted. That's cool. And he deserved it. So I'm not sure how the moderators choose them, but it's community. What I'd like them to do, I know they're watching, is I'd like moderators to be unanimously voted on by all the other moderators. I'd like it to be all yes. Not 60 votes or pack the Supreme Court or whatever. I'd like it to be all yes. But I'm not telling them to do that. They run the Discord. So how you become one is just be awesome in Discord, and someone will reach out. They'll tap you. It's like, joining Skull and Bones. You get an envelope under the door, with calligraphy on it, and you show up in a dark basement, and you take off your clothes and you drink beer out of a boot. That's how we do it. Josh Harris for $2. Thank you, my friend. Michael McLean, would you repeat which method is best for you to receive the most of the money we donate, purchase, etc., please? Michael McLean, how does the channel get most of the money? Patreon. Patreon only keeps like 5%. YouTube takes a lot more. But I'm just answering the question. I'm just going through. Look, Gary, this is called anal obsession. Bigfoot pooping at the woods. This is called anal obsession. And, Freud talked a lot about this. And it really comes from babies that are in the cradle or constantly touching back there, sniffing their fingers. And they're just obsessed with everything back door. And I'm getting that from you. I'm getting that from you. And that's something that, through therapy you can deal with that, and you can overcome that. Maybe even exposure therapy. You're just surrounded by butts all the time. Freak Biker, $10. Do a show on Anunnaki, please. I've sent to the tip line. Thank you. And we don't even need tips on the Anunnaki. That's on the list. That's high on the list. 213. I'm almost through these, and I'll let you go. Jet Poe would love a video on paranormal entities like shadow people and sleep paralysis. Oh, I think I got you already. Am I way behind? Crimson, thank you for the $1. Renard Prem for $1.99. Thank you for that. Chad Brown showing Pastafari, Pasta Monster. I don't know that one. Is that like the spaghetti monster? How likely? All right, for $10. How likely is it that aliens found us in the found us in the entirety of the universe. They either put us here or the aliens are humans, human-built AI from the future that are here to learn about their past. I kind of know what you're talking about there. And there's something to that. Because, having aliens, quote unquote, which you put it in quotes, be from other planets is really hard scientifically. Isn't that the big problem? Isn't that one of the great filters? Is space is just too big. So for an alien from another planet to have made it to Earth, that means they solved faster than light travel. So that's harnessing a wormhole. That's harnessing that's Einstein-Rosen bridge stuff. So that sounds really far-fetched to have done that. But let me finish, because some of you are going, "Oh, the aliens they can do it. They can do anything." Yes, but if you can create a wormhole and travel faster than light to other worlds, why are you crashing in Roswell? Why can I see you on the Navy video? You've got this level of technology, but you don't have like a spare UFO that you can swap into. You're going down. You don't have a parachute. You don't have a black box. I mean, JetBlue has this stuff. An ejector seat. We've had that since the 50s. So it's weird. It seems like there's a discrepancy in the technology. But some have said that that's a different race of aliens. What was it? Benowitz, Doty said there was 80 different races of aliens. So then are aliens humans or races from Earth? I think that could be likely. At least scientifically, that makes more sense. And with all the UFOs going into the ocean, I mean, if you were an alien race and you wanted to hide from humans, the ocean is the place to do it, right? I mean, what percentage of the ocean have we explored? It's something like 10%. So you could be down there, we'd never see you. And UFOs go down there, and they seem to go from the air to the sea without any noticeable splash or change in velocity, which means these craft are somehow going through media or substrates or fluids in ways that we can't understand. I mean, fluidic dynamics of a fluid or of the air is the same principles, and they seem to be ignoring the physics that are involved. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I know that's not really an answer. Maybe it's just more stuff to get you thinking about it, but I don't know yet. Hey, Rabbi. He's a big supporter of the channel. I'm a huge fan of his, and he has a YouTube channel. And Rabbi, I don't know if they can get to your channel from the chat, but everybody should check out his channel. It's really great stuff and uplifting. Blessings. Thank you for covering these topics. You'd be surprised what secrets the Torah holds about these topics. And I love the Torah secrets. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I love that stuff. And I'm going to do more of it. Tyler Bittinger, $5. Truly love the channel. We'll be watching all your content you put out. Weird UFO. Otherwise, shout out to Eddie Bravo and the 10th Planet North Dallas. Eddie's a character. All right, guys. I'm trying to get to everybody, but I got to let you go. This is too long to stare at a blue face, man. Eric Barlow for $20. I appreciate that. Love the way you tell the stories. Not sure if you're aware of some North Carolina stories like the Brown Mountain Lights and the Devil's Tramping Ground. I'm not familiar with the Devil's Tramping Ground. I know the Brown Mountain Lights. That's a great story. I don't know the Devil's Tramping Ground. All those Appalachia. I heard it pronounced both ways. I grew up saying Appalachia. All those Appalachia areas, they have some of the best stories in the country, all connected back to the Native Americans and all the mounds. I think we can go. I think we can revisit that area. Let's say, Wolf, could you review an entire year of notable stories from history starting with 1273? Review an entire year. Notable stories from history starting from 1270. So what do you mean, like 1274, 1275? Like that? It's an interesting concept. I'm trying to think. 13th century. It's an interesting concept. That was an interesting time. But if I got that wrong, then let me know. All right, I think we got everybody caught up. Look, the Smurf joke's funny. It's definitely funny, but we made it. We made that joke early on. Mr. Watts, why guy are you a Fed? I was a contractor. I did have clearance, but I was a contractor. I did not officially work for the government. Work-related documents. Hello, where's Hecklefish? She's right there. There he is. I have him patched in, but we're not getting any sound. See? He's saying stuff. It worked. It worked just before I went live. Angus William, humans just can't do space. We can do space. We don't. Crazy World, I don't think my super chat went through. I'm scrolling to see. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. I don't see how taxation will change the climate. LOL, just makes some people more rich. Biggity bingo. That's all. That's what it's about. It's about making people rich. Because look, are Russia and China and India changing their emissions? The U.S. is. The EU is. They're not. No ramifications. Let's go, Brandon. Left you a tip on the tip page about dreams. Good. More Gary Hansen. I don't think he was talking about anuses in that chat, so that's good. Maybe he's growing as a person. Good for you, Gary. Look at this super chat: $5,999. $6 million. That's not a super chat. He's joking around. Yeah, I know. I'm blue. All right, I think we're caught up. Okay. Gino, forget. To get back to you mentioning lucid dreaming, there's an angle to that, astral projection. True. And the belief in soul travel, I think you've covered that subject slightly about living in the matrix, something to discuss. It is. And astral projection is something that can be part of that. But lucid dreaming, I would say is different, because astral projection, and that's something that I've tried to do, and a couple of wacky people in my family are into that. Astral projection being the soul, the spirit leaving the body. So in astral projection, if your soul leaves your body, I mean, it gets deep, right? There's the different astral planes, but in some of the first early planes, as a sort of a new traveler, you could really only travel to Earth and fairly close by. And as you get better, you can go further, but your soul comes out of your body and you look around and it's your room. It's your bed. There's your dog. There's the dishes in the sink, that kind of stuff. With lucid dreaming, you manifest and create your entire world. You can be anywhere. So I think of it as differently, but certainly they can overlap. Crazy World, have you thought about doing an episode about the double slit and delayed double slit experiments and the nature of reality? Check out the simulation theory episode, because we have a whole chapter on the double slit and the delayed double slit experiments. I do it. I talk about it for like 3 or 4 minutes because it gets deep. Now that's something I would do more of if people were into the science stuff. But double slit experiment, that is for certain people, and that could be for everybody who's watching. I don't know, but that is for people who are into science, into quantum mechanics, and want to learn about that stuff. I don't know if that's the same people who are into Bigfoot. Evil Aaron projects and builds. If you ever need a builder or a mason to question your research, I'm happy to help. A great show. By the way, gotta fly. Thanks for stopping by. And sometimes we need experts. All right, that's it. We're caught up, y'all. I want to thank everyone for being here today. This was a long one. I can't believe how many people stayed. I'm grateful for all the super chats and the tips, and I hear the people shopping in the store. I really appreciate that. It helps keep the channel going. And specifically, thanks to the Patreon members. You guys are amazing. I don't know why. I don't know why you do it, but I'm glad you do. And as long as you keep supporting, I'll keep trying. I'm going to keep trying to make you proud. The worst thing I want to do is disappoint people who support the channel. And special thanks to the mods. You guys are amazing. This channel will be nothing without you. So thanks to all you guys. Bye, Lulykins. I'll talk to you on Discord. I'm going to stop by Discord after this for a little rap show, refill the coffee, see if I can figure out the blue thing. We'll get Hecklefish's mic working for next time. I'm sorry, buddy. I tried. We'll get him working for next time. All right? That's going to do it. Until next time, be safe, be kind, know that you are appreciated, because you are.